Hello, friends. This is Alia Jamal, the Heart Mentor. We are meeting for our weekly workshop, and today the topic is tools to heal your nervous system. So far, all the topics for this year, 2026, have been suggested. So I am so grateful for all your input. We still have some room. Wherever you're watching it, you can comment, DM me, send me an email if there's a topic you would like to um, understand on a deeper level, or you would like me to teach about it, please share it. I will also include the link to the sign up page for the workshop if you would like to receive a Zoom link, and if you would like to join us live and participate in the Q&A. So today's topic is light and heavy at the same time. Yes, we are not going to go so much deep, but we are going to reflect on a lot of things. And as I was preparing for this workshop, I got almost teary eyed because there's something I'm going to read to you from a Google search, um, just to help you see where you are. And I was able to see where I have been and how far I have come along. And that just felt like a deep moment of gratitude. So let's dive into what is nervous system. Let's first start with what is nervous system. If you're not a biology major, if you don't know a lot about human body. Nerves are part of a system, just like digestive system, circulatory system that has heart and blood vessels in it. So just like that is nervous system. The main person in the nervous system is our brain, our backbone, but then there are branches coming out of it, and it runs on electricity. That is the main thing to keep in mind. Our nervous system, it is an electric current. The way our brain is going to tell our hand to do something, it is pure electricity that is moving through us. That's why I say we are magnetic. So when we experience trauma, that gets impacted. The way, like, how fast the things can move through the nervous system, how fast the message can move through it, that gets impacted. And the reason it gets impacted, our nervous system gets overloaded. For example, I still remember when I received the news of my nephew dying. I don't think so I have fully like my nervous system has fully healed from it. There's a part of me that is still frozen there. So think of big things that you have received in your life. It could be a good news, it could be a bad news, it could be, your car just broke down, you got laid off, or you learned that your marriage is going to be over, or you learned that your partner is cheating on you. Go back to that very specific moment. That is the shock to the system. And our nervous system is not equipped, especially modern human nervous system is not equipped to handle that shock. So what happens is goes in its own protection mode. We still have to survive. We still have bills to pay. We still have to go to work. We still have to take care of our families. So we enter into a functioning mode while a part of us is frozen. And that is why burnout has become a term. It is a diagnosis that you can get at this point, because we don't get enough time to allow our nervous system to heal. When our a bone in our body breaks, it's very visible. We give it time to heal. When a muscle in your body, let's say, gets bruised or damaged, or a tendon is cut, especially um, I think it's called Achilles tendon. A lot of people who play sports, that is the most common injury that they get, right by their heel and their shin. That is where it is. So we give it time to heal, but our nerves, because we don't see them, we don't know how to give ourselves time to heal. So today we are going to look at internally what's going on within you so you can assess where you are and what are different tools, and then at the end, what is something you can do for yourself every day to create a change. So your own personal step routine, or it could be just one step routine. You don't have to take all the things that I give. You can just take one thing, and that will be something you do for yourself. So now, looking at the nervous system, the way we are going to look at it, of course, we are not looking at the structure. We're not going into those deep scientific names. We are going to look at sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Now, sympathetic nervous system is the part of the nervous system that takes over when there is crisis. So that part of the nervous system is, you can say, it's much more fast, active. It can do things quick. It can think quick. When a lion is running after you, you will run so fast that you'll be like, who was I? Or a parent in that chaotic moment will be able to lift up a car uh, to save their child. So that is sympathetic nervous system. So I call it, that is when we go into the superhuman mode. That is when we are able to do things in terms of strength, in terms of our agility, speed, that we might not be able to do in our chill moments. Um, that is the sympathetic nervous system. It's a powerful tool we have. And then there's parasympathetic nervous system. That is the if the first one is the fight flight mode, the other one is more like digest, rest, repair mode. So think of yourself when you're sitting on the beach without kids, especially for parents. When I go to the beach with my son, I am fully in the sympathetic mode. It's impossible to go into parasympathetic mode. So imagine when you are on the beach and you're maybe just by yourself, you're with your partner, you're with your friends, you have no worry in the air, you can just do whatever. That is parasympathetic nervous system. You're able to connect with the present moment, you can enjoy. That is when you're present. That is how it feels to live with active, or parasympathetic mode. These are two switches that get turned on, turned off, and it is truly a privilege to have that in our body. Now, this is where things go, I will say, southward for modern day human. The way our life is designed, we never go from, once we go into the sympathetic mode, to the parasympathetic mode. So think of um, many decades ago, or many centuries ago. Think of that time. People will go out, they will hunt, they are in that sympathetic mode, they are in the fight and flight mode. And then in the evening, there's a communal gathering, everybody's sitting around fire, everybody's enjoying, they're relaxing, they're unwinding. And some cultures or some traditions still have that unwinding aspect to their day. So the way the society was structured back then, you go into sympathetic mode, you do what you need to do, and now you go into parasympathetic mode. Now, me and you, we go into sympathetic mode from the moment our alarm goes on off, and we stay there. And sometimes we fall asleep in front of the TV while watching, some crazy movie and eating salted chips. So there's no room for us to go from sympathetic to parasympathetic. That's why a lot of people feel burnt out and they don't know what to do with it. And unfortunately, we have taken it as the human condition. It's not. When you get to experience a version of you that lives, that knows how to come back to the parasympathetic mode, that knows how to calm your nerves down, or your nerves feel so relaxed that you can be present in this moment, that version of you is very different. And she can contribute a very different part of her to the world. So, before we go further, take a moment and make the commitment with yourself that you're willing to do the work, whatever that work feels like or looks like, to meet that version of you. And for me, that happened back in 2017. I went for my first body massage. And when I went for that body massage, when I came out of it, like when I just got to the car, I was like, what's up with my body? my body was relaxed for the first time in God knows how many years. I have just gotten used to stiff muscles so much that I didn't even know that your body can relax. And that massage lasted literally an hour. By the time I got home, my muscles were back tense like that. And that is unfortunately what we have accepted to be the norm, but that doesn't have to be the norm. There is another way you can exist, and I'm going to show you how you can do it in a very, very easy way. So before we go any further, I wanted to read to you this list that I got from the Google, just asking like, what is the difference between healed nervous system and a nervous system that needs healing. So as I was reading it, I could relate to so many of these things in the past. And as I was reading, what a healed nervous system look like, um, it just I felt immense gratitude that I can say I feel most of those things. And it has required a lot of work to be here. So it was so worth doing all that work. And whatever you're going to do is going to be so worth doing the work. So first one is when we feel chronic tension, tight jaws, shoulder, tight chest, shallow breathing, digestive issues, IBS, nausea, appetite change, fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, frequent headaches, body aches, feeling tired all the time. If you have ever experienced you got an 8 hour sleep, you wake up and you're still tired, that is a sign of a tired nervous system. That is a sign you're stuck in sympathetic mode and your body doesn't know how to come out of it. It went there and it just stayed there. So it's just like if I'm holding this bottle, here's my healing spray. If I'm holding this bottle and I keep holding it for next 24 hours, what's going to happen to my fingers? They're going to feel tired, numb. They might just freeze in this mode. So imagine that is how our nerves have been. However old you are, usually all this starts now. It's starting even younger in a very young age, sometime even like in your teen years, your nervous system goes into a sympathetic mode and then it doesn't even come out of it. So maybe for 2 3 4 decades you've been living like that. So no wonder we sleep and we don't feel rested. It could be mood swings, feeling numb or emotionally flat. I remember for the longest time I could not experience full joy, and I even asked my mentor. It's like it would be the most joyous moment, and I just stand there with a flat face, and I don't know how to even connect with it. Anxiety, or when we just feel like we're floating in the air, we have no idea we're spaced out. It could be irritability. It could be feeling hopeless. It could be crying on every second sentence or crying, having no idea why you're crying. I personally cried 7 hours straight one time. Difficulty making decisions, overactive mind, intrusive thoughts, thinking of worst case scenario, and it feels like you can't even turn off your brain. Those are all the signs that you're stuck in a sympathetic mode. Isolation from your close ones, people pleasing or inability to say no, difficulty trusting people, avoiding anything that feels triggering. So, a lot of people who identify as introverts, they are stuck in sympathetic nervous system. So that is an avoidance behavior that we are experiencing. And the same person who say they are introvert, once they are a nervous system healed version of them, they can communicate with people with so much passion. It could be numbing behavior. It could be overworking. So numbing behavior could be overeating. It could be overconsumption of substance, alcohol, drugs, whatnot. It could be scrolling. And doom scrolling is one of our most readily available drug these days, numbing drugs that most of us are addicted to. So now, what are the signs of a healed nervous system? It's very important we go through this list. I know it's a very long list. So you can see this is where I am and this is where I would like to go. For me, what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a brain, mind that goes still. That's all I've been working on. And now I'm working on another layer. If I can be present in this moment all the time, how would that feel? So that was my goal. So you can see one of them is relaxed muscles, soft jaws, shoulders, slow, full, natural breathing, good digestion and appetite, energy that feels sustainable, comfort in your own skin. You don't feel like you're competing with anybody else. You're okay being yourself, 100%. Able to tolerate touch and closeness. This one I wanted to highlight a little bit. Sometime you might have felt that, if someone comes in, you just startled, and then other people don't startle. And we can identify with, like, maybe you were hit as a child, or maybe you're being hit as an adult, or maybe you were abused in your physically abused in one of your relationship. So that part of your nervous system is still stuck in, like, we are still in sympathetic nervous system there. We are not in the relaxed phase. So when it becomes easy for us to let someone come close to us, touch us, hug us, love us, you might have seen, like, some people, they're like, I'm not a hugger, just stay back. I have had that. I'm a hugger. So people have told me, like, I'm not gonna shake hand, I'm not gonna hug. That is the cover or shield we put on ourselves, and we give it all kind of name, like, I'm a germaphobe and this and that, and I don't want to share people's energy because I work with energy. But deep down, it is, we don't feel comfortable being touched. We don't feel comfortable someone coming too close. So just wanted to explain that a little bit in case that is something you're struggling with it. And then in terms of our emotions, we can let the emotion come and go and process it. We don't have to hold on to it. We don't feel numb to it, which is such a crucial skill to have as an adult, which most of us are lacking because we're too busy. We're too busy for the next thing. Able to feel joy, curiosity, and playfulness. Sadness or grief can move through you without getting stuck. Able to self-soothe when you get upset. Feeling generally safe inside of yourself. Clear thinking and decision making. Present, not stuck in the past or dreading your future. Able to pause before reacting. Thoughts feel manageable. Inner dialogue is generally kind or neutral. When we are stuck in the sympathetic nervous system, that is when we are criticizing ourselves a lot. It's almost like we're punching ourselves all the time. Um, it can also feel like you're able to set and hold boundaries. You're comfortable with closeness and also solitude. Like, you're okay being around people, you're okay being by yourself. Able to repair after conflict. That is a big one. Most of us, we've run away from those difficult conversations because our nerves cannot handle. Genuine enjoyment of connection. Rest actually feels restorative, able to respond rather than react. So I'm trusting after this extensive list, you have an idea what is it that you want to work through, why you want to do this work, why it's important for you to heal your nervous system. And now we're going to get a little bit into just having an idea. Are you right now, do you feel safe and it's easy for you to socialize? Or do you feel like, you have to, whenever you're in a social setting, you need to prove your point, or you need to talk so loud so you can overpower the other person? So that is fight and flight. And then another one could be that you just feel frozen and shut down when you're talking to a person you spaced out. So these are three ways your nervous system, when it needs a little bit of healing, can show up in a social setting. So just keeping in mind where you are, can you flow? Do you attack, or you just go offline? Because it's very important for you to keep in mind, and you'll see as you do this work, you're going to start shifting in the way you interact with people. So I have a lot of suggestions here, what we can work with. I'm going to show you or share with you the easiest, simplest way. So when your nervous system is stuck in the parasympathetic mode, the switch is not going to flip overnight. That is the most important thing to keep in mind, because it might be that now you're okay being with the people you were not okay being with, let's say last week, but you're not okay being with strangers. You're not okay having new conversations. So there's different layers of comfort and peace that is going to get invited. But what we are going to start doing, we're going to start applying ointment to the wound. It's not going to heal overnight. There might be a scrape and then the scrape will come off. So it's going to be a process. One of the fastest way to bring your nervous system back into parasympathetic nervous system is breathing. The reason being, your diaphragm has um, parasympathetic nerves, and when you breathe deep, your lungs are pushing on your diaphragm. There is a physical connection that is being made, a touch. So parasympathetic nervous system gets activated. But if you have a lot of anxiety, if you're a person who goes through a lot of panic attacks, I want you to be very mindful. Don't just go into deep inhaling, exhaling, deep inhaling, exhaling. You can actually put your system in overdrive there. The safest one to use is box breathing: 4 in, 4 out, 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold. So I'm pretty sure every single one of us know what I'm talking about in terms of box breathing. You can also do double inhale and a long exhale. I personally love double inhale and a long exhale when I feel like I'm going into shallow breathing. One of the ones that I use, it comes from the we call it prana breathing. It's come from the pranic healing practice that I am involved in. It is 6-3-6-3. So 6 inhale, 3 hold, 6 exhale, 3 hold. So you can play with which one feels okay for you. 4-4-4-4 box breathing could feel very easy for you. 6 can be a little bit like, 6 and 3 combination could feel a little bit stretchy. Or you can just put your hand on your belly and inhale and see if you can push your hand out. Go all the way and then exhale and see if you can let your hand go all the way in as close to your backbone as possible. So what we are doing, we are stretching your diaphragm to the maximum. If you do just 3 breaths of those as soon as you wake up, 3 breaths before you go to bed, 3 breaths whenever you feel you're triggered, you're training your nervous system. It's okay to come. It's almost like bringing a child from like an ice cream shop where they're addicted to it, pull them away to a place where they can just finish that ice cream and they don't just keep getting more. It is it is quick. We are more effective when we are in a sympathetic nervous system, but it is very damaging for the whole body. It can cause aging faster, a lot of other diseases. Beside all the ones I listed, it lowers the quality of your life. So with every practice that we are going to do, what we are doing, we're taking our nervous system that is stuck in the sympathetic and we're bringing it to parasympathetic, and see how long can we hold it there, how many time we can bring it there throughout the day. Every time you detect you're tensing up, you bring it to the parasympathetic nervous system. So breathing was the easiest one. The second one is more like a lifestyle change, and that is called earthing. Earthing, or spending time in nature. If you're a person that you really are serious about having a relaxed version of you, forest breathing is the best thing you can give to yourself. I love to spend a whole day in a forest. What forest can do for you, maybe beach can do for you. Maybe that is your place to go to. But in forest, it's shaded. It's not too much bright sun on your face. There's less chance of getting a sunburn. You can also go to the beach. You can go early morning, walking bare feet. If you do have a lawn available, walk on the grass, walk on the concrete. The only thing where it doesn't really work is if we walk on the asphalt, the substance that makes the road. It disconnects us from the earth. So you can walk on concrete if you have concrete around in your backyard, even in your home. Try to be as much bare feet as possible, and you're going to start feeling different. What is happening? We're getting the benefit of earth electricity, because when we're stuck in the sympathetic nervous system, the electric charge in your nerves is not aligned to what it wants to be. So we take it from the earth. You can also hug a tree. You can take charge from a tree. So those are all the ways you can bring yourself to a parasympathetic nervous system. Now, here's a little bit more technical stuff, and that is vagus nerve stimulation. So vagus nerve is this giant nerve, starts from here, goes all the way all throughout your body. A very easy way is just twist like this. Like twist your body and also twist your neck. You might have seen that if you have joined a yoga class anytime, at the end we do a very specific twist. We are twisting our whole body, our legs are in a specific pose. That is a vagus nerve stimulation. What we are doing, we are kind of like, twisting the whole nerve. And when we let it go, it relaxes. It's almost like when you twist your clothes and the water comes out. So whatever it needs to flush, wherever it's stuck, whatever chemicals are just building up, it can unwind. But if you are like me, if you come from like prolonged exposure to very unhealthy environment, you're going to need more layers than just a twist. I have used all the things that I am talking about. Breathing is something I use every single day, and also meditation. We'll talk about it in a few. Another one is for the vagus activation is humming or singing or chanting. So for all the people out there who love to chant Om, that is a beautiful way to bring yourself to parasympathetic nervous system. And if you don't associate with the Om chant, you can just go, or you can just hum to your favorite song. Another favorite thing that I do is I call it ocean breath. So you're going to, I don't know if you'll be able to hear on this mic. So you're going to inhale, and when you exhale, you're going to keep everything closed, but you make like an ocean sound. So it'll be, so you open your throat a little bit and you make like an ocean sound. That is such a fast way to calm your nervous system down, to come back to the parasympathetic nervous system. When I'm so triggered that nothing else will come to my mind, I call it ocean breath. And it's a very famous breathing technique. You'll find it in many breathing courses if you're into that. You can also get into a habit of massaging your neck and your ear area, like this area, like all this over here. If you feel like your shoulder and everything stays tensed right before bed, massage this whole area. You're going to get much deeper restorative sleep. So these are hand-on techniques that you can do for your vagus nerve. Another one is laughter. When you watch comedy movies, that also stimulates your vagus nerve. It flushes your system and you come back to parasympathetic nervous system. So if you do have a very funny friend, hang out with them more. Watch a lot of funny movies. I watched comedy movies nonstop, like on regular basis. I'll say 2 to 3 every week for a year. That was part of the treatment that I took. And that was watching really funny movies. Another one of my favorite one is massaging your feet. You don't need to learn a fancy massage technique and what points are what pressure points. Just take your bare hand and just like, you can like rub your feet, you can just press your feet, you can massage them however you want. At the end of the night, vagus nerve goes all the way till your feet. That's one thing. And when you are massaging the sole of your feet, that message is going all over the body that we are so relaxed. We have so much time available that we are actually nurturing our body. So, what that does, automatically you go to parasympathetic nervous system. And this is something you don't need to invest anything in it. No fancy bombs are needed. You can do it all by yourself. Now, whatever we have talked up until now, pay attention to which one is something you can do right now. Start doing it right now and then give yourself at least 2 years of this practice till you can really start feeling you feel calm and aligned within you. Again, I said this is not a switch you'll turn on and off. You're training your nervous system to go back home because it's stuck outside and it's lost outside and it is all stressed out and keeps you stressed out. Life is very different when we can approach it from a very calm place. Now, another list is mind body practices. Yoga is one of them. What is a mind body practice? Anything where you can fully come back to your body and you're not just floating up in the air. Now, if you're somebody who have experienced physical abuse, whether it's hitting, whether it's sexual abuse, it would be very difficult for you to come into your body because that is how you're surviving. That is when we disconnect from our body. We try to go, we're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So start with the other gentle practices. You can go to the forest, you can go to the beach, you can go for yoga class if you feel like, okay, I don't relate to it. You can just try very, very slow walking. But when you're ready, yoga can be a very easy way where you can start learning how to come fully back into your body. And it is designed to bring you to your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, I personally know people who are who go to yoga classes regular basis and they are stuck in anxiety because they are using that 45-minute or 30-minute of yoga class as like, oh, this is the thing I'm gonna do. They come to yoga all stressed out, they leave yoga all stressed out, they can't really connect to it. So if that is you, then try something else along with yoga and maybe give yourself break and come back to it when when your body is a little bit more relaxed. I personally had to let go of yoga at one point because it was creating more damage in the body than healing. It could be Tai Chi. That is another thing you can do. Another modality is craniosacral therapy. It helps regulate your nervous system fluids. You can try that. You can search. If you are in New Jersey, I have a reference for you. You reach out to me, and I can tell you who that person is. Another thing you can try is EFT. So those are different techniques where you're touching your body with affirmations. You're basically learning to come back into your body. When we are stuck in sympathetic nervous system mode, we don't feel connected to our body. We're not in our body. We're up there somewhere floating, stuck in our head and trying to do everything all at the same time. Whatever helps you come back into your body, whether it's a massage, whether it's just laying on the ground, whether it's laying on a beautiful mountain, whatever that is, start practicing more of the things that help you come back into your body. And if you say, I have no idea what it means to be back into your body, definitely reach out to me. I can help you see what that really means. Another thing that you can do is, which is my personal favorite, is meditation. A lot of people say, well, I running is my meditation. My friend, that is not really meditation. Meditation is when you sit with yourself long enough that you can see who you are beyond this body. That is meditation. Meditation is recognition of your soul. Meditation is not just to slow down your thinking or be aware of your thoughts. That is just, these days with the Headspace app, we think, um, it's a tool we can use to calm down. But meditation is when you start to recognize, I am more than this body. And when that recognition happen, you go right away from like into the parasympathetic nervous system, because now you're one with your body, but you also start becoming one with your soul. Now, this is something it's going to take you at least 2 years of consistent practice to start having that feeling. So, for those of us who are really committed to this path of really connecting deeply with our calm self, I would highly recommend. And my favorite meditation to start is Twin Heart Meditation. It's a whole system that gets you there. It's not just let's be calm. It helps you open your heart. It helps you open your crown. It helps you become a channel of light. And then it also helps you feel grounded and still inside. It's a whole system. It's a medicine cabinet on its own. If you are ready to try, I'll say try with Twin Heart Meditation. You can just Google it. You'll find a shorter version of it on YouTube, and there are other ways you can also buy it. I highly, highly recommend that. Where you're teaching your body, I can sit here and I can be safe. I don't have to be running around. I used to be a person, I couldn't sit still for more than a minute. I couldn't even watch TV. I will be doing something while I'm watching TV or I'm forwarding it. I didn't have the patience to just be still. So when you sit with yourself long enough, your body starts to learn, I am safe. I don't have to be running around. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I am not in danger anymore. If you can learn that I'm not in a danger anymore, my friend, your nervous system is healed. Now you get to experience what is that calm version of you. So there are going to be few lifestyle changes that you're going to embody if you're serious about it. The first one is your technology time. If you are sitting in front of computer or TV for 10 hours, give yourself at least 5 hours away from it. Where you're not on a phone, where you're not touching any electronics, where you're not even using any electronics in your kitchen, where you can just be away from all of that. And sleep doesn't count. I'm talking about waking hours. And there also needs to be a wind down period before you go to bed. So if you're a person, you just fall asleep on the sofa, or you get to bed when you're too tired to even remember anything, then please change that. Your nerves are going to be so grateful to you when you will do that. It doesn't take long, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's all it takes. I have a I have a family, I have a kid, I have a busy schedule. I give myself 15 minutes before bedtime. It's 15 minutes, I get into bed, I massage my feet, I massage my legs, I check in with myself, I check in with my day. Sometimes I meditate for 20 minutes and then I go to sleep. Sometimes you can even journal. You can journal whatever you're feeling. That is going to get everything, like, that contracted part of you, it's going to get it out of your body, out of your system. So these are the different tools that you can use. Now, I'm going to share with you what I suggest my clients, what I recommend when someone comes to me and they're ready to do the work. We can practice all these things. But one of the things that we gotta learn is, what is it that made me shut down? What is it that made me closed? Or what are those thoughts that make me overwhelmed? And what you will discover, there's a very specific way that you're used to thinking. You don't trust strangers. You don't trust a new person. You're always watching your back. There are very specific belief system you have that make you stay contracted, where you're always trying to be safe. Whether it is that you're washing your hands 5 times before you do anything else, or whether it is you're very cautious to create new relationship, or you just want to stick to your routine and don't want to try anything new, however it shows up in your reality. When you do the work to transform that, and what do I mean by that is learning to think in a different way. And that way would be learning to think the way your soul thinks. When you do a long time transformation, and again, that's going to take anywhere from a year to a 2 year. When you do that transformation, now your internal environment is so relaxed, so I would say, unclenched, that there's no need to be watching your back all the time, or being stressed all the time, or being afraid all the time. When you do the deeper work to heal that, that is when your body feels safe being relaxed. It feels safe being loved by you, by another person. That is when safety starts to re-enter in your body, in your existence. And another tool is just focusing on your heart. When your heart feels it can stay open, because when your body is contracted, when you're in the parasympathetic mode, your heart is closed too. Your heart center is not open, because that is a very different mechanism. So another thing that you can do, if you don't remember any of that or you feel like this is too much, just put your hand in the middle of your chest. Get into a habit of doing that. You could be talking to your spouse, you could be talking to your kids, you could be even teaching, just, having your hand on your heart. And that is a very easy way you can train your body to stay open. Just me putting my hand on my heart, if let's say I was in the sympathetic nervous system, it was going to bring me into parasympathetic nervous system. And here's how it's happening. Electromagnetic charge, electromagnetic charge, they come together, it opens, your heart sends a signal to your brain, lower brain shuts down, higher brain opens up, your crown open up. When your lower brain is shut down, so is your sympathetic nervous system. And your body got a signal, it's safe to be open. And you're going to start feeling relaxed in your back, your lower back muscles that are contracted all the time, your shoulder, everything is going to start getting relaxed. So these are all the different ways you can work on healing your nervous system. And I'm trusting that you found something here that gave you that spark that, yes, I want to work towards that goal. For me personally, being present in this moment, that is the goal that has been last year, and this year we have added divine presence to that. Can I be present in this moment and also feel the presence of the creator in this moment? And just being focused here, your nervous system doesn't have time to go into sympathetic, the sympathetic mode. It must stay in parasympathetic for it to be here. It cannot think about the past or the future and be in the present at the same time. So that is the guiding light or the North Star that I'm using to continue healing my nervous system, so I get to enjoy my relaxed version. So with that, we are coming to an end. If this is something you want to go deeper into, you can go to my website, aliajamalcoaching.com, and book a consultation. And I would love to be your guide in coming home to being truly with yourself. And with that, we are ending, and I'll see you next time. Next Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I will put the link to the sign-up page if you'd like to get the Zoom link and you want to be present. And now we're going to go into Q&A. If you want on-spot coaching, you can just sign up and join us live. And I'll see you next time. Bye.